10 signs you're shifting to a higher level of consciousness. Hey guys, I'm Laura and I make videos that will awaken your awareness. So we're going to jump straight into it to sign number 1, and that is synchronicities. So synchronicities is the same thing basically as coincidences. They say there's no such thing as a coincidence. It's synchronicities. So it could be examples of synchronicity can be things like you're seeing repetitive numbers. So every time you look at the clock, it's like 1111 or 111, 222, things like this. They're known as like the angel numbers, and basically angels communicating to you through the numbers. So I've been seeing some numbers lately. I've been seeing a lot of like 44. Whenever I look at the time, it's something 44, or I look at my phone and it's on 44%. I'm constantly seeing it. So that's one example of synchronicities. Now another example of synchronicities could even be like you could be thinking about something, you could be puzzled about something in your mind, and then you jump on social media and you're scrolling and something comes up on your social media, like it could be a meme that's like relevant to what you're thinking about. Now, it's not a coincidence, it's synchronicities. It's how spirit communicates with us, right? So synchronicities again is basically coincidences, but coincidences aren't a real thing. So that if you're experiencing that is a sign that you are shifting to a higher level of consciousness. Now, number 2 is that you want to spend more time alone. I know this has happened with me. So you sort of have that spiritual awakening and you start viewing reality differently. You realize that, we've been lied to, or we've kind of been kept from this information. And then once you start waking up to it, you find that you're no longer in harmony with the old life, your friendships or your environment. And so you start wanting to spend more time alone. Now for me, it's sort of like, I don't really have a lot of friends that are into spirituality on the same level as me, or they don't understand it on the same level as me, because it's completely shifted my perspective on life. And they're still stuck in that old way of thinking. So it's like they don't really resonate with you anymore. You can't, I just find it harder to be around them when they're still kind of like plugged into the matrix and, the matrix, and living in that old way of being, and they're still quite unaware. So for me, it's sort of like, spending more time on your own and just sort of like learning about spirituality or doing inner work and healing and shadow work, and things like that. But eventually it's sort of like you want to find friendships that are on that same level, that, with people that are on their spiritual journeys too. Now, number 3 is you feel like a strong need for like a change in your environment. So something along the lines of like moving house or quitting a job, or just move to a whole new place, because your environment doesn't feel right anymore. So wanting to have some sort of change is a sign that you're shifting to higher levels of consciousness. Number 4 is when you start experiencing manifestations on demand, and miracles just start flowing to you. So when we manifest, we are much better at it when we're in higher states of consciousness. If we're in these low states, manifestations are really slow. Like, even if they did happen, like it's a lot slow for them to happen. But if you're in these high vibe states, manifestations come in so much easier. So if you're experiencing like, manifestations on demand, the frickin' happening, like miracles are just flowing in, that means that you are shifting to higher levels of consciousness. Now, number 5 is changes to your diet. So I know a lot of spiritual people choose to go vegan. I'm not one of those people. I like my meat. But I did notice changes in my diet. And I also read in Dolores Cannon's book, with this whole shift in consciousness, your diet does change to eating more lighter foods. So, for example, she talked about like less red meat. That's quite a heavy, food to eat. she said like chicken and seafood's still all good. That's like a lighter sort of meat compared to the red meat, so you can still eat like that sort of stuff. But she also talked about like a lot more smoothies, which are easier on the stomach, and like more like salads. So more eating a lot more like changes in your diet, so where you're eating a lot more lighter foods, or even like if you change to like being a vegan because it no longer resonates with you to be eating animals. So if you like, for me, my diet just naturally changed. I think mainly because I've gym a lot. And I sort of more changed it along those lines. But then when I read it in Dolores Cannon's book, I was like, I've made the exact same sort of changes that she was talking about in her book. And I was like, oh, well, you know, kind of makes sense to me. So number 6 is like having new opportunities, relationships, and abundance, like just turn up out of nowhere. So again, you're in these high vibrational states. Things that come in a lot easier into your reality when you're in these states. So if you're experiencing things like, you know, new opportunities, relationships, and abundance, then that means that you are leveling up to higher states of consciousness. Number 7 is like you're more warm-hearted and gentle. So you have more empathy and compassion for other people. You're just, you know, a lot more kind, a lot more, because like you understand that like we're connected as one. So like you'll be more willing to help others, do nice things for others, just to, you know, spread good vibes, you know, things like that. So just simply by being, you know, more warm-hearted and gentle towards others and having just more compassion for people. Number 8 is you no longer feel the need to compete. So competition, competing in life is an ego. It comes from the ego, right? So like you, like we're like conditioned to be chasing things like, you know, flash cars, flash houses, labeled clothings. The ego likes to show it off because the ego's like, look at me, look how successful I am. And it's like a competition type thing. You know, you might have a friend that's leveled up in a job, and then your ego gets triggered like, oh my God, oh, I need to level up now because I need to compete. But when you no longer feel the need to compete, you're more in tune with your higher self and like operating more from the higher self and not so much from the ego. So that is another sign that you are like leveling up and expanding your conscious to higher states. Number 9 is you just have a deep appreciation for even the small things in life. So it's really easy to overlook the small stuff. Like most people go about their day and they don't really appreciate those little things and overlook them because they're more focused on like the bigger stuff. Like I said before, the ego is very driven over like flash cars, flash houses, flash clothes, like look at me and all my stuff. So the ego is more focused on that. But I guess when you're operating from more of a higher level of consciousness and you're operating more from like your higher self, yeah, you just appreciate all the small stuff in life, because you know that the small things is what really does make life what it is. You know what I mean? Like the small stuff brings you the joy. So if you're doing that, then that means that you are in a higher state of consciousness. And number 10, the last one, is like you take full responsibility for yourself and your life. So a lot of people will be in like a victim mindset, poor me, you know, they might have a negative situation and then they, you know, again have that victim mindset of like, you know, why is this negative things always have to happen to me? But being in a negative mindset, it won't get you anywhere in life. It's a really negative way of thinking and negative state to be in. When you switch out of that to you take full responsibility for your life, the good and the bad. So there might be a negative situation that's happened, but you can go, well, what part did I play in that negative situation? Maybe I attracted that in because of unhealed childhood wounds that I need to work on. You know what I mean? Like you're the one that's taking responsibility for things in life instead of blaming others and being a victim. So those are the 10 signs that you are leveling up consciously. You're expanding to these higher new vibrations. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and feel free to comment. And if you if you like this sort of content, then hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, because I make daily videos on my YouTube channel. So I hope you stick around. I hope I see you on the next one. Peace.